What's this horrible yellow thing you're wearing?
My coat.
Oh, and what's this?
This is the Renault 5, the new Renault 5. And it doesn't seem like a year since we were here with Car of the Year 24, right?
That's true, but this is something special. It's the Car of the Year 2025. It's 100% electric. It's reminiscent of the old Renault 5 that I believe you had.
It's reminiscent of my first car.
Yeah.
In fact, I had an orange Renault 5, and I think you said that all the early Renault 5s are available in orange and rust, or
Orange and
yellow and rust,
rust.
or green and rust. Mine was orange and rust.
This is where this differs. No rust.
It's a beautiful vehicle, isn't it?
It is a beautiful.
What a change.
Let's go and have a better look at it.
All right, let's check it out. We will indeed be having a better look later on. Colin Ross Jones joins me for Go Motoring Portugal in about 20 minutes. And I have to say, my goodness, these are the most dynamic of times. The image that came to me at the as I was just getting probably in the shower actually, and it's a water-based metaphor, unsurprisingly. But I don't know if this is the same for you. May I say, first of all, Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Live stream, not so much after tomorrow and from May the 5th onwards, but more of the plan to be revealed. And the plan is emerging from what I think are very dynamic times. And I don't want to put too much of a subjective, positive or negative slant. I think that comes from each of us in what we do in the times that we're facing at the moment. Although I would look for a sense of agreement or accord on that. If people, and clearly they are not agreeing on their opinions, can we agree perhaps that we are living in very dynamic times? Is there at least that commonality to be shared at the moment? And then after that, all sorts of things are clearly happening. And the metaphor that comes to mind, to make it Portugal based and just up the road, I think this is like a very dynamic sea, the sort of which you see at Nazaré at the moment. Now, when you get a very dynamic sea at Nazaré, there are people who look at it and shudder and just don't go anywhere near it. There are people who go and watch from the cliffs. And there are some individuals who get on the waves and surf those bad boys as well. And then all of life is there, isn't it? All of life is there at Nazaré around this dynamism and the awe and the wonder and the terror and the appreciation. All of these wonderful human emotions or responses are there in the face of this dynamic sea. And I think perhaps we are in a dynamic world, certainly our part of it. We can only really comment, I think, on our collectively owned and perceived part of it. What would that be? The Anglo-American, European, Western mindset. Something is going on with us at the moment. And it's at that point I would press a button to play some music and the start of the show. But that got completely messed up this morning. Although you did see one of two amazing videos that ended up on my desk yesterday. That's a clip from the wonderful work of Kyle. I don't even know his second name. I just know him as Kyle the Drone Man, who's made an amazing video for us of the Renault 5 that Colin managed to borrow last weekend. And we've reviewed it, and it is superb, and he'll be here to talk about it at 8:20. And you'll get a chance to meet Kyle as well, the man behind the moving images and the incredible drone photography that has now replaced, thankfully, my rather, what would it be, pedestrian photography compared to his. I've done my best on those videos, but this young man has taken it to another level. He's very, very skilled and gifted, and we'll talk to him and learn a bit more about him as well. He's another a wonderful expat immigrant foreigner who's ended up here in Portugal and especially on the Silver Coast here. Right, let's see what you think about what I've said so far. Maybe we'll have a quick look at the newspapers as well. The other video I must talk about this morning is the one that where the footage was made. Our Good Times gathering, that legendary party, that mythical gathering back in, I think it was February, wasn't it, of this year. We did one last weekend, April. I was sick for the May one. having my shamanic episode in bed, from which much has occurred, I think. And it was February, I believe, when we had our first one. And Michael and Cheryl added a touch of musical class to the proceedings, and they brought their video cameras with them, and they make fantastic Musicians Live 360, I think is the name of the channel. Let me make sure that I've got that right for you, and I'll give you the link. But they came and they recorded me chatting on the beach, and they have put together from that, because I was actually hungover. I was really surprised, because it was a great night, and I had one or two sherbets, and I was endeavouring to get my act together on the beach. Oh, hold on a minute, that's their video playing in the background. Actually, no, it's not. That's is it? Beliane.pt. Oh no, an AliExpress video playing in the background. Yeah, Musicians Live 360 is the name of their channel. I'm going to put the link in the video at the risk of you watching that now instead of the show. And quite honestly, that wouldn't be a terrible thing, because the video is so good, and it's captured so much of what I wanted to say about the show, about the future of the show, how it started. It's really wonderful. You've done a great job, Michael and Cheryl. They came, they sang. They are musicians, of course, with their channel, Musicians Live 360, based in Porto. American recording artists, and very, very skilled and gifted as singers and as musicians and as video makers, it turns out. So thank you so much to the pair of you. The link for that is in the video. The link to the video is in the chat now. So thank you so much. A fabulous video about Good Morning Portugal. A little bit about Silver Coast, I think, but a lot really. They were just asking me questions about expat life, and I gave them the best possible answers I could, and it came out pretty well, even if I say so myself. So maybe I should be a bit more hungover more often in interviews about what I do and what I'm endeavouring to add to the offer that I'm trying to give, and the value I'm trying to bring to the foreign community here in Portugal. Thanks again, Michael and Cheryl, and thank you to Kyle, who we'll see a little bit later on. Back to your comments before we maybe have a look at the news and the weather. Let's see what happens. We're already halfway to seeing Colin join us on the screen this morning, and talking about motoring in Portugal in general. If you've got any questions about still the cough as well, you see, dynamic times. Any questions about cars, motoring? We've got some interesting events coming up. We've got all sorts of wonderful things to do with cars and motoring, and talk, of course, about the new electric Renault 5. It was my first car, and they've done an amazing job in reinventing it for 2025. Sarah, good morning to you. Bon dia, getting ready in the Yerman household for Junto Pontebesh in Alcacer tonight. Alcacer. Tonight, you try saying all of that in Alcácer this evening. That's going to be great, isn't it? They are, of course, the Rolling Stones of Portugal. Just like Aveiro is the good job. Katia Lima's not watching. Bon dia, Campus e Feliz Quinta. We took a stroll past the amazing Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao yesterday. The last time I was here, the building was still under construction. That is some time ago. Wow. I am that old, says Coach Turner, and also officially old. My youngest son is 40 today. Well, parabéns. If it means anything to him at all, Coach Turner, do let him know that the Gumpers wish him the absolute best on his 40th birthday. 40 is the new 10, is it not? Right, Bom dia Alegria, Gumpers. 40 is the new 20. I think. So tell him not to worry about that. Bon dia, parabéns to your son, Ian Turner. I hope you got my message, Mel. Other options are available. Oh, that's great. Okay, just seeing your message there. Sorry that was late and hasty, but I sensed an urgency, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you. Fantastic. Bon dia, everyone, from Mike and Karen in Miranda de Corvo. JMC, bon dia, Gumpers. JMC, thank you for showing up last night on the Positive Echo podcast. Good to see you there. Great conversation with Gary Coulton last night. That's available on Spotify now and all good podcasting outlets. Gary Coulton, Positive Echo with me. Episode 4, getting your barriers and blockages out the way at this dynamic time in history. It is the end of an era, says Peter, a keen historian. I will. Oh, I see. Not in the world. I will miss the live streams and a little banter, but all good things must come to an end. Yes, I would say it's not ending. What we do is not ending. It's going to reappear phoenix-like from the, and these aren't even going to be smouldering ashes. It's going to be the same, but a different sort of method of transmission and medium is how I would put it. Good morning, everyone from Gemini, and Bon Dia Colin Campus from Jackie as well. This morning, he says, what do you mean, JMC? No kidding. This has been a constant of life since we got here in the depths of the pandemic, when I thought we still lived in Decatur in Georgia. This vibe will be available in the mornings. Do not fear not, dear friends. More to emerge about that and exactly how to engage. Yes, Jutoshi Pontapêche is known as what? JCP for short, possibly. Or did I just make that up? Igualmente, Sarah Yemen, it is lovely to have the sun out this morning, though. And what I lose with my veggies and the farm. Yes, that's right. Because don't forget, we are going into spring and summer. And the farmers among us, like Pete, need to be out in the morning. Yeah, just more time on the tractor after the parade this weekend. You will still be able to consume GMP goodness, vitality, and well-being, Peter, just maybe in an easier way, so you won't be distracted and you won't be inclined to add some sort of filthy content into the chat. You will still be able to consume and comment, but it will be a little bit different. We've been living in Portugal 20 years today. That's another fantastic milestone there. If not for Colin, who's joining me soon, I wouldn't have met you, Hugh. So I'm very grateful to Colin for that association. He's just having a bit of breakfast, I think, behind the scenes, sipping, quaffing from his Good Morning Portugal cup, and a nice big thumbs up from Colin, who I think is ready to join us and talk a little bit about the Renault 5. That's a bit of French and Portuguese for you this morning. That's an amazing milestone. Hugh, can I ask the top three wonderful things that come to mind when you think of living in Portugal for these last 20 years? How's that been, mate? Could you give us like 1, 2, or 3, even 3 highlights? And a well done. Some more parabéns for you there. Congratulations from all of us, and well done from Sarah there as well. Amazing, Hugh. That is incredible, isn't it? It'll be 8 years for us. One thing I can say about that is the time flies, for sure, does it not? I imagine that 20 years has pretty much flown by in the blink of an eye. Me, filthy? Yeah, I didn't say you were filthy. I think some of your content can be a little bit eye-watering from time to time, Peter. I think you know that, though. Yep, that is about right. Quite literally shoveling the stuff as well. You should know that one, Carl, on my potatoes as we speak. He's manuring his spuds, everybody. Enough touristing already. Get to work. Chop, chop. Who's this? JMC. Work? Heavens no. Right. If you do what you'll love, you'll never work again. And I hope to keep it that way. Right. Okay. A very quick look at the news pages then. Oh, I should be in print. Munson versus AI should be out in print at the Portugal Resident. That'll follow in digital on their hallowed digital pages in the coming days. Let's see what's happening at the Portugal News and the Portugal Resident before we welcome Colin this morning, and maybe a very quick look at the weather as well. Has the sunshine is just so wonderful, isn't it? Did you have a good day yesterday? I'm guessing that everybody in Portugal enjoyed the sunshine yesterday. I think it was an all-round experience across the country. No particular sort of microclimate evidence yesterday. It was sunny all round, wasn't it? And for everybody, maybe slightly different levels of temperature. Very good in central, I believe. Yeah, 27-degree day today to look forward to in Coimbra, for example, in central Portugal. And I suspect a little bit cooler still in the Algarve. Let's have a look at this. Oh, and given that we are looking at the Spartan FX and weather here, A new guide has come out from Sarah. I wonder if I could bring that link to you today as well. But there's the weather for you on the screen. Lisbon will have a glorious 26 today, cooling down tomorrow, but still sunny. Yeah, and a somewhat cloudy weekend. That's still the forecast. 19 degrees in Porto. We've got a cloudy weekend ahead there. Coimbra will be 27, an almighty and magnificent 27 today. Great day for a day trip to Coimbra, if you like it warm. And Braga even boasting 26 later today. Currently 14, started out at 12, and Faro 20, a comfortable 20. That for most foreigners, that's still short sleeve shirt weather, isn't it? And shorts, get the shorts out. Certainly at the 20-degree threshold. 20 degrees of the centigrade. Double that and add 30. That's going to be 70 for you in Faro. And tomorrow, a little bit warmer. And then, yes, the clouds will return at the weekend. And with some friends yesterday, they say the rain's going to come back again at the weekend. I'm not sure it's going to be a rainy weekend. It's looking like a cloudy one. But did I see somewhere, maybe Safe Communities Portugal, that we've got the last threatening weather front has come and gone? How they know that with such certainty, I do not know. 24 degrees, Pete says here today. Just lovely. It is, isn't it? It is so wonderful when the sun comes out. May even venture into the pool. Nice one, Pete. 24 degrees and he's got his Speedos on. And the old guy's here. Bom dia. Bom dia, Gumpas. Feliz quinta a todos. Como vais? Gorgeous. How are things? And 2 grandchildren, says Hugh, born in Portugal. How lovely. Through our B&B, meeting people from all over the world. These are the highlights of 20 years in Portugal at Quinta dos Três Rios. Through our B&B, meeting people from all over the world. There are people all over the world who remember meeting you for sure, you and Jane, Hugh. Hospitality and friendship of the Portuguese people who have welcomed us into their communities. Isn't that lovely? So you've welcomed 2 grandchildren into the world in this country. You've welcomed people from all over the world into your B&B, and in turn, you've been welcomed by the Portuguese people into the Portuguese culture and their community there in Viseu. Hugh in Viseu, thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Your highlights of the last 20 years of living here in Portugal. Right, let's have a look at the Portugal news front page and seeing if there's anything noteworthy there this morning. A very quick look because oh, yes. Oh no! I thought it was a beautiful recipe, but no, it's neurotoxins. Everybody, neurotoxin? Anyone for a starter? Neurotoxin detected in Algarve shellfish. I'm looking at that and thinking I want to eat that. There's some whelks. Anybody like whelks here? And I know that will repulse some people for sure. That image alone there. So that's not good. Be careful if you're playing with mollusks today. They might not be. They might be carrying some awkward disease by the sound of it. Monument to the Discoveries is reopening. That's interesting. That's an important piece of Portuguese culture, of course. There, go away, advert. And now I'm clicking on the newsletter, I think. Okay, the work aimed to improve visiting conditions, the welcome and the quality of the facilities available to the public. That explains a statement released by Padrão dos Descobrimentos. The interventions included the remodeling of the sanitary facilities. That's the bogs, everyone, and their adaptation for people with reduced mobility. Okay, disabled toilets, you might say, as well as the rehabilitation of the acoustic ceilings of the exhibition room. I don't know about you, but whenever I see a lot of Portuguese reporting, these sound like things from committee meetings. And it's like they talk like British policemen, don't they? It's very interesting. They become quite verbose and technical and say things in a very elaborate way that are just, yes, toilets for the disabled have been talked about as adaptations for people with reduced mobility. Closure of the Padrão dos Descobrimentos had been announced in December last year. Okay, looks like they are ready, and they've splashed out 100 and look, whoa, what's that on my screen? They've splashed out. It's probably not the best phrase to use when you're talking about toilets, is it? But 150,000 there. And I've got to go here now. €1 coin worth more than 1,000 euros. Everybody reaches for their wallet now. Check, says the Portugal News, if you have that €1 coin. Oh, I used the coin machine in Millennium yesterday, only to they're whelks. What did I call them? Or did I say cockles or something else? Yeah, whelks. Love a whelk. Portugal is posh. Of course it is. Oh, we'll come back to all of that. €1 coin worth 1,000 euros, allegedly. And I put a big bag of coppers, as in not policemen, but as in small coins, yesterday, and I nearly had a brush with actual real coppers. There was a roadblock on the country road, I think, hoping to catch people boozing, talking on their phone or speeding or whatever. Just drove straight through that bad boy. Isn't that nice when you go past a police roadblock and you're not one of the cars to be stopped? A euro coin issued in the year 2000 is now among the most coveted on the collector's market, according to Postal. The coin was issued by Finland. Okay, it's not a Portuguese one. It's one of the Finnish euros, a country that, although it only put the euro into circulation in 2002, began minting coins before that date as part of the preparation for the introduction to the single European currency. Okay, so it's a Finnish 2,000 euro. And it's just not going to be the same, is it? Bear with a minute. Quick cough. It's not going to be the same when it's a digital euro. I don't suppose a digital euro is ever going to be worth 1,000 euros, is it? Okay, that's I wonder if Colin's having a look through his loose change as we speak at the moment. But there you go. It's worth £1,000 of that euro. I hope that is him messing about with his small change and not something else that he's doing behind the scenes. We'll bring him onto the screen in just a moment. Very quick look at the Portugal residents. Yep, my article will be in there later on today. Sorry to keep you, Colin. Let's just have a very quick look then at the Portugal Resi this morning. And that's going to be for you on the screen now. And the headlines include: Portugal slammed for worrying silence over Macau journalist arrests. Macau, of course, former colony of Portugal. Oh, God, it's all gloom and doom on there at the moment. Fireball, crikey. Let's not have that for breakfast this morning. You're very capable of taking a look at the Portugal resident. I'm just trying to look for some highlights and good news and fun stuff. Portugal's bird sanctuary network takes flight. Oh, I think journalists live for moments like that, don't they? Bird sanctuary takes flight. Well done, Michael Brugia. And easy toll machines still operating at entry. I think that's scandalous, isn't it? Weren't they meant to have been stood down, those tolls on the A22? I think that's the point that might be being made there. I can't see anything else that I want to share with you, so I'm not going to at the Portugal resident this morning. We're closing down the weather and the news, and we're making way for Mr. Colin Ross Jones. And I'm a bit embarrassed, I've got to say now. I'm going to play the Go Motoring intro, which is a little bit dated, and it is clearly a video made by an old person compared to the amazing video skills you're going to be seeing. And the man who made them, the young man who made them, Kyle, will be joining us a bit later on. This is my effort. You'll see more of his efforts later on. There he is, man of the moment. The man who can get his hands on a great motor and take you out for a ride, ladies, which is what he did for me last Sunday. How disappointing for you, Colin. Great to see you. Bom dia, tudo bem?
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, very well, very well. Lots going on. Two amazing videos turned up in my life about some of the things we do yesterday. The one from Michael and Cheryl Bliss on Musicians Live 360, and Kyle's, of course, the video that we were out making on Sunday. He's great. He's going to join us, isn't he, a little bit later on as well to say hi.
He certainly is. Yeah.
I don't know his second name. I only know him as Kyle, the drone cameraman. Do you know his second name? You don't.
That's
either, do
embarrassing, isn't it?
It's just young no, Kyle.
I should do. I should do.
Yes, you should.
But I don't. Yes.
Neither do I. We'll find that out from him later on. But it's like two old farts. We just call him young Kyle, don't we? Because he's got all the gizmos.
Young Kyle, yes. Yes.
Do you remember being called young Colin? I haven't been called young Kyle for a long time.
Well, I am the youngest of three, so I'm
Oh,
always
that's
young Colin.
reassuring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Alan,
Excellent.
Brian, and Colin in order: A, B, and C.
A, B, and
No,
C.
no D. Yeah, we had Daddy and the dog, so there was no need for a D.
Oh, very good, very good. Morning, Colin, from Hugh and from Coach Turner
Morning,
as
Hugh.
well. Good
Morning,
pals
Ian.
of yours. As well as talking about the Renault 5, the new electric Renault 5, there's other news, and I'm hesitating a little bit because I'm not sure if all of the news you might share this morning is properly announced or formulated. We do have a gathering, do we not, at the Benny Car, the amazing phenomenon that is Benny Car. Can you tell us more about that first of all?
Yeah. It's their annual classic car day where they invite a load of Portuguese classic cars owners to a rally, and it goes around the Silver Coast and ends up at Beniccar, where they, as you know, have their own classic car collection and
That's true.
museum.
Yes.
So it's going to be an exciting day where all our gumpers that are interested in motor cars can turn up and enjoy themselves. And they have a very nice cafe there as well. Well,
They do.
it's more than a cafe. It's, yeah, you can buy lunch there or whatever.
Yes, I was
So
having
that
a
is good.
somewhat odd lunch the other day. I don't know where we were, but I mean, it's such an important part of family life in Portugal. You know, eating out and going to interesting places. And my daughter said, "Yeah, and we've eaten at some funny places, like that car place you took us to where we had lunch." And she remembered it. There is a cafe in the middle of the car showroom, isn't there, which actually serves some really good food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you looking? Are you
It's
trying to
the
find
29th,
the date of this thing?
29th of June. 29th of June.
Yeah, me too. Because I was looking at their website, and in a classic a Portuguese marketing way, I can't see any mention of it on the website. Where you imagine it might
Nope.
be. I don't know. Maybe this Feira. This is maybe the current thing, the holiday of the 24th of April to the 4th of May, which starts today. Wonder what that is. We could click on that. I'm guessing. Oh no, that's not to do with the school holidays, is it? Because it's very sort of family friendly over at Beniccar, isn't it? Let's have a click on that and see where that
Very
takes.
much so. Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Very
I'm going to
much so.
accept all your cookies and see what this thing is about. But Beniccar is amazing. I would not have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Oh, this is just their holiday bargains, I think, and it starts in 30 minutes. Okay, so there you go. Oh, let's have a look at their video because this might give you an idea of how incredible this place is. Yeah, like I say, you mentioned it. You said, oh, it's amazing over there. And I was thinking, well, it's just a car showroom, Colin. So I'm thinking, why is this man getting so excited about a car showroom? But it's so much more than that, isn't it? It's an exhibition. It's an art gallery of cars, basically.
Well, I've been to hotels that got worse receptions than that, and they call themselves 5-star.
So true. Okay, I'm going to bring onto the screen this latest promotion. I wonder what they're going to tell us on this. So the Benicars, we are partnered with them. It's Colin's pleasure to go there with you if you want to look at purchasing a vehicle and have a little bit of help. Beniccar are great. They offer an excellent service, but you might like to have Colin by your side as well to have a word in your ear about some of the selection on offer there. What's happening here? You're in that, Colin.
Yep.
Yeah. Anna.
Woo!
Amazing. Okay, so their big promotion looks like it's starting in 30 minutes there. Can you remind us of that date again? I think Hugh might be interested. Wouldn't it be great if Hugh
29th.
could come and join us for that?
It certainly would. Yes, it'd be exciting for Hugh to come to that venue with 2,000 cars for sale. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just incredible. That's why
Okay.
people need help from me to choose the right one.
Make some sense of it. Okay. So 29th of May, if you love motors, both
June, June,
classic.
June, 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 June,
29th of
29th of
June.
June.
29th of June. Come along
Yeah.
to. Okay, so I don't need to panic just yet. Then
In May we have another event in May, which is João Barraças doing a seminar on importing cars for expats.
Okay, all right. So what's that going to
Venue,
look like? How's that
venue
going to
and well, the venue and the exact date have not been confirmed yet, but Carl is hosting,
Oh
and
yes, that's right.
we will have him. And I might persuade Kyle to video it for us.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
everybody that has contacts with expats can come and learn about how easy it is for him to import cars for you, whether they be your own personal car that is allowed to be imported, or import one from he imports most of his stock from Germany.
Yeah, and he was the chap who was with you last time when you were on the show.
Exactly.
Great bloke, really good
Yes.
sense of humor, and he
Super.
too makes beautiful vehicle videos, doesn't he? He makes some fantastic videos.
Hence why we had to up our game.
That's right. So Pedro Bastos, you can search for him at the Portugal Club if you want to get in touch with him, or just get in touch with us, and we'll put you in touch with him. And that's for importing luxury cars, right? High end sort of stuff into Portugal. If you're struggling to
No,
find,
he'll import anything.
seriously,
He'll just offer the service, and charge you for his part of it.
yeah, okay. But we know he loves
You have to
dealing
pay
with
obviously the
some,
import duties.
yeah, and he deals with some of the most beautiful vehicles on the planet as well, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. And this is his
But he's not a
website.
snob.
No, he's not at all. No, he's very down to earth and lovely bloke. So, okay, just to
Yeah.
remind you then, Benikar, the rally there, where we'll meet up, hopefully. We'll see their museum. We'll see loads of other cars that people have brought from all over the country. 29th of June. And meeting up then with Pedro Bastos for a little bit of a road show with him. And a chance to see some beautiful vehicles and find out a bit more about how to import your vehicle or a new vehicle into Portugal. What's the date for that? Do we know yet, or is that to be confirmed?
No, that's for the three of us to find a common date, and the venue, I believe, will possibly be the Marriott in San Martin, in
Excellent.
Praia de Rei.
Praia del Rey. Yeah, okay. Well, let's
Yeah,
see if we can get Bobby O'Reilly along for that sort of event he might like to turn up at.
yeah,
So that'll be
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Okay, brilliant. All right, there we go. Right, any other motoring news before we get into the specifics of this incredible Renault 5?
Yes. I read this morning that the largest battery manufacturer in the world, which is a company called CATL. They are Chinese, as most of the car battery manufacturers are in the world, because they're 20 years ahead of the rest of the people. They have just launched a sodium-ion battery. Sodium-ion batteries were starting to take some of the market, but people were saying that the problem with them was that the energy density of the battery was poorer than lithium ion. Lithium ion currently
Right.
is about 200 watts per kilowatt. And now this battery is 175. So it is starting to catch up. But the interesting thing is it is guaranteed for 4.8 million kilometers.
That should be enough, shouldn't it?
I think it should. And it
Okay.
recharges. It recharges in 5 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So people are saying that this is now a game changer.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
much cheaper to produce because there's no metals in it, particularly that are, upsetting the world by taking them out of the ground.
Or polar
No
bears,
rare,
as we'll find out about in a little while. Yeah.
or polar bears, as we find out about. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but let's see.
Yes.
This could bring the price of electric cars down and solve the problem of like petrol you fill up in 5-10 minutes. Now you can do the same with the electric. But
Okay, because that was a
how
serious
quickly?
consideration in the electric market, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, how
yeah,
long it takes to charge an electric car. So that a game changer in
yeah.
that sense. I mean, we do get, some words get overused. Game changer or phrases get overused. That's probably one of them. But if it does what
Absolutely.
it says, that is a game changing matter, isn't it? A fast charge and the battery
Yeah,
life. Now that battery life isn't for each consumer, is it? Because we're not going to be doing those millions of miles. That's the length of the battery as it's functional on Earth as it gets handed from one vehicle to
that's
another,
correct.
presumably. So
Yeah,
the battery's going to outlast the vehicle by the sound of it.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Well, quite amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. By how much, I wonder? And that again, a game-changing stuff, because if the battery remains a tradable asset long after the car has come and gone and been used, we're going to see different kinds of dealerships and different kinds of cars, probably, aren't we?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
or maybe consumer
Well,
changeable battery units.
you just buy an old car and use it as storage for your car, for your house.
Yes. Wow. Okay. This will
You know,
be. It is game changing stuff, isn't it? It is game changing stuff, and that human ingenuity will be brought to bear on that. I'm sure. We are talking
I
about
mean,
spuds in the chat here. We'll come back to that. Sorry, Colin. You're going to add something else there.
people are currently doing that with cars now, using
Yes.
them
What,
as
powering
storage.
their houses? Yeah. As a big
No, I
battery with
mean
wheels.
old cars that people are saying, this car's lost 30% of its thing. I'm getting rid of it, and then they end up with a cheap um, battery storage system by just buying an old electric car.
That's so interesting, isn't it? And we had a little taste of that with the Renault 5, because you showed me a gizmo in the back of it. And I didn't really understand what you were showing me. I thought you were showing me an adapter so that you could plug the car into the house more conveniently.
No,
But actually, it was
no,
the
it's
other
the
way
other
around. It
way.
was an inverter, wasn't it? So it's a
Yeah,
little gadget that goes in
yeah.
the. I mean, and this took us back.
Charging port.
This experience took us back in so many ways, because it was my first car I ever had, the Renault 5. And this little gadget, like a handheld, it's just like a little sort of gun-shaped thing that you plug into the battery port, the socket.
Yeah,
And then it's got a regular, you could put this phone charger into it, couldn't you? But you could also put a
exactly.
kettle in there, and you could have a brew by the side of the
Kettle.
road, taking us back to the 1950s.
Yeah, use it for camping.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Because there are some lovely lay-bys to have a sandwich in Portugal. Bom dia,
Oh,
bom dia todos, Colin.
or
I also
benches, or benches.
benches, as you'll see as well. I also just saw an article about a carbon fiber-based battery, weight efficiency,
Yep,
because that's the other thing. The battery you're talking about, we don't
yep.
know how heavy that is, because that's another consideration, of course. Weight efficiency, sourcing positives, but the one you mentioned sounds even better. Battery tech is interesting, says Pete, just waiting for a proper battery powered track. And yeah, that'll give it a nice center of gravity, Pete. The ones from Turkey are a bit pants. The official review about Turkish batteries, probably a little bit like Turkish teeth whitening and hair replacement currently. A major problem is where all the electrical energy in the national grid system is going to be generated and distributed. Yes, that's an important consideration. How are you going to charge these things up? Thank you very much for that. Jackie is here. Good to see you, Jackie. I'm not sure if I said hello to you before. You are talking about Pete's spuds. Pete, that sounds like fun. Talking of spuds, will I get Maris Pipers or Cyprus spuds over there? You'll get great potatoes. I don't know if that's what they are, but Portuguese people love their potatoes. I've been thinking about that deeply lately. Jackie, chocolate, spuds. Seriously, though, they are the best for chips. Don't worry, you'll get good chips over here. Don't worry, it's going to be fine. And on the going back to Welks, this is hilarious. And sorry if you're eating your breakfast at the moment. Welks, I think that's not weeks there. We talked about the neurotoxin problems for some Welks here in Portugal. It sounds like a good time to avoid whelks in Portugal. I avoided them at dinner, says Pete, in Porto, and my two mates didn't. As a result, one had sorry about this, but this is the sort of thing that makes me giggle, and I'm sorry to be so puerile, and I'm sorry this is so disgusting, but I know others will giggle as well. Colin's already giggling. As a result, one had an accident in his van and had to dispose of his trousers in the supermarket bathroom. What happened to the other guy? We want to know. That's awful. And spare a thought for the poor workers of Continent or Ocean, wherever that unfortunate event took place. In the future, I mean, was he a tourist? Take your pants home with you. I suppose maybe wasn't so easy to do. What's up, Colin? Have you had a whelk for breakfast? What's up? Spider, maybe? Mouse? Where's Colin going? He just wandered off into his room there. We'll bring okay, fair enough. I think maybe he had a bad whelk last night. He had to suddenly disappear. I've got further video to add to the screen from the epic video about the electric Renault 5, which will premiere on the channel tonight. The full-length video. It's a little long to play here on the breakfast show, but we will have it available for you. I think it's from 6 p.m. this evening, and we'll also talk to the creator of the video, young Kyle. We're currently calling him. We'll give him his proper official name in just a moment. Colin, did you just have a whelk incident? What happened there?
No, my earpiece fell out and I couldn't find it, and I walked to go and get the other side one, and suddenly it appeared on the floor.
Rock and roll. I mean, thank God young Kyle isn't here. Can you imagine these old giffers he's talking to? What the earpiece?
How can he deal with? Yeah, how can he deal with us? Eh?
He was very tolerant.
We don't even know his surname. How embarrassing!
No, just when he gets here, we'll just say young Kyle. And of course, we know your surname.
Well, he is.
Please remind us. Yes, he is. He really is. So how did the guy?
It'd be great if his surname is Young.
He'll be like Kyle Young, though. So how did the guy with the trouser difficulty make it out? That's a great question. Did he buy some trousers in the supermarket and do I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? Human beings. I mean, let's not be too silly about this. We've all find ourselves in difficult situations, and your ingenuity kicks in, doesn't it? So I'm guessing. And Pete hopefully can solve this mystery. Or there is a trouserless man wandering around Porto looking somewhat green and unwell. Let's find out. Good question, Sarah. That didn't occur to me. If that man left the supermarket trouserless, running back to his van, giving the British tourists an even worse name. Normally, that sort of thing happens in the Algarve. This is in Porto, right? Should we talk a little bit more about the Renault 5 before he gets here? Because the bombshell thing, Colin, is I'm saying to you in the video. Let me play a bit more of the video, and we'll come back to some of your opinions. But yeah, first bit. I've got some segments because it's too long to play the whole thing. It will be premiered on the channel tonight. And I want to just play 3 segments to whet your appetite. This is the first of them, and the 2 more to come during the show. And we'll play the work of Carl. I hope he's embarrassed. He shouldn't be embarrassed because it's fantastic work, and he'll be here to talk us through it as well. This is the first bit.
What's this horrible yellow thing you're wearing?
My coat.
Oh, and what's this?
This is the Renault 5, the new Renault 5, and it doesn't seem like a year since we were here with Car of the Year 24, right?
That's true, but this is something special. It's the Car of the Year 2025. It's 100% electric. It's reminiscent of the old Renault 5 that I believe you had.
It's reminiscent of my first car.
Yeah.
In fact, I had an orange Renault 5, and I think you said that all the early Renault 5s are available in orange and rust, or yellow and rust, or green and rust. Mine was orange and rust.
This is where this differs. No rust.
It's a beautiful vehicle, isn't it?
It is a beautiful.
What a change!
Let's go and have a better look.
Okay, all right, let's check it out. Isn't that amazing? The car, the scenery, the excellent camera work, 2 handsome co-presenters. We'll have to get a couple of those. But it just, all the elements were there, weren't they, to make a fantastic video, and he did. Before we bring him onto the screen to look at a couple more clips, Viva says, a cute yellow car. Not least its fabulous appearance and its beautiful yellowness, just like my coat there, which Colin was insulting. We can perhaps solve the mystery of the trouserless man. Oh yeah, that whole thing reminded Mel of the scene out of Bridesmaids. Yes, that's right, when they have the Mexican food, I think. Yes, he has his spare clothes in his van as he gets dirty at work, not usually that kind of dirty, and the other guy had his accident. I'm sorry to laugh, but don't eat whelks. Don't eat whelks at the moment. In Portugal, boxers are the new fashion, I guess. This is getting even worse now. Kyle is backstage watching us laughing about toilet humor, as well as all the other, you dropping your earpiece out of your ear. I mean, it's a wonder he's going to stick around and tolerate us, quite frankly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't have been just his trousers. So nude. Not talking about you, Kyle. We're talking about Pete's friend here. Oh, God, what have you walked into, Kyle? Let's give you a nice big round of applause and bring you onto the screen. Hi, Kyle.
Hello, good morning.
Oh,
Thank you
great
for
to see
having
you.
me.
Well, you should
Good morning.
absolutely be here this morning because you made a fabulous video for us. And we've got a confession to make. In our hurry and in our incredible appreciation and focus on your video, we only know you as young Kyle. I didn't stop to ask you your second name, and people should know that in case they want to hire you for your incredible drone work.
That's a pretty good nickname, though. I'll take
Young
it's
Kyle.
like one of these new rappers. You know, it's a young everything.
Young Kyle. Yes, okay, you're welcome. Right. But if people
Kyle
do want to
Dow.
be in touch,
Dow is my last name.
Dow.
Yes.
That's amazing. As in the Portuguese wine, or as in the sound.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Or a Dow.
DOW. Wow.
Okay. And Dow Jones. Is it the same spelling as Dow Jones?
Exactly. Being American, that's the reference I usually give.
Yeah. Dow as in Dow Jones. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. You did us proud. And as I was saying to Colin there, the car was very photogenic, obviously, as are Colin and myself. The scenery, you had all the makings of a beautiful video, but Colin said, we need to talk to Kyle about making this video, and you absolutely excelled yourself. How long have you been doing this incredible drone photography, and how did you get into it?
The drone part has been probably about 6 months, maybe a little more than a year.
Right.
I started off last year with one of the cheaper drones, and then maybe got into FPV, which is when you're wearing goggles and you actually feel like you're the drone. It's a whole nother dimension. But for video and photo in general, it's been a little over 8 years now.
Right, amazing. And you're so gifted. I've managed to find your Instagram channel, so I'll put the link to that into the chat for you. I do urge people, if they've got any kind of need for this sort of incredibly dynamic photography and your skills, to get in touch with you. Is that the best way to do it, or are there other ways of doing this?
Instagram is the fastest way now. And in that Instagram, I have a link to my website in the top of my bio. You can also contact me through there.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's look a little bit more of your work. It's not that dramatic, Bob. Hit the like button while we still can. It's going to go dark next week. There will be videos released, and we will be going out of the live streaming genre. But there will still be videos published every day from Good Morning Portugal, so don't worry. And hopefully a little more of Kyle's work as well, to share with you in the future, because we'd love to work with you again, Kyle. It was such fun, and you've done such a great job. So, for example, a little bit of a clip here, and we'll weave in some of Colin's extra commentary. I think this is where we got told off by the car. There was a moment, wasn't there, when we were having a conversation, and the car was listening in and told us off. Let's see. Let me just check if this is the right bit.
Recognition, lane assistance,
lane discipline,
and also emergency braking. These are the...
It's like the EU itself.
It is,
isn't it? Controlling your life and telling you what to do all the time. But there's unlike the EU, there's a button override. Yes.
So if you press that button twice, then you have got what they call my system, and you go in there and personalize it, everything you want. We're currently in comfort. I can press this multi-sense button here.
And what's going to happen if you do that?
It goes from comfort to eco,
right,
which is not for me, and then sport,
right,
which brings everything red, and eco was green.
Yes.
So
I think you just killed a baby polar bear.
Sorry, again.
Who's this?
That's a very distressing thought. and I assure you that no harm comes to any animals through our actions.
Oh
It's
no!
important to remember that protecting wildlife is a priority
Get out of here.
in the organization.
Carl, you've upset him now.
Windows paperclip. We are not interested in you rebuking us while we're trying to have a quiet drive on a Sunday afternoon. So it's clear that you're not moaning as much as you normally do.
To be honest,
Let's pick up from there. You really were well. We got told off by the car, which was really weird, and it was like Windows paperclip. This little character that came up on the dashboard and heard us talking about. It was a joke about when Colin turned off the eco mode that a baby polar bear might die, and it didn't take kindly to that at all and told me off. And we finished the clip there of saying you weren't moaning as much. So let's move on from that. Was probably the worst thing about the car, about how it was patronising and telling us off.
One of the sad things about that video is that when I pressed the eco button, we were going over a sleeping policeman, and it looked like the car jolted because I got out of eco.
It wasn't connected. It wasn't connected, was it? And the
Oh,
sleeping
it wasn't
policeman, just in
connected.
case anyone has taken that literally, including the bloody paperclip in the car. I mean, can you imagine if we're in that car again and we say we've just driven over a sleeping policeman? That thing is going to say, I think that should be reported. In fact, I'm going to turn you in now for driving over a policeman. And it had that sort of patronizing tone and voice as well. So for anyone listening, a sleeping policeman is a speed hump in the road. And I remarked rather rudely, I think, as it turned out, that you weren't moaning as much as you sometimes do during, when we're talking about some of the controls in the car. Very little to moan about with this car. What's your overall view, Colin? And people can watch a video at 6 o'clock tonight, and I think they should. But what's your view?
Well, I don't like the modern gizmos that are forced upon us because the EU say we should have a car that almost drives itself. Two things. I find that
patronizing,
very distracting, patronizing. But if people are going to be spending their time looking at a tablet whilst driving, they're not concentrating on what they're doing. So, okay, if the car will keep itself in lane and brake, emergency brake, then that's a good thing. But the real thing is you shouldn't be looking at this tablet. You should be looking at the road and driving and anticipating what the car will do.
Yeah. No, I noticed
the road
nodding
conditions are.
Sorry, go
on. And the condition of the road, the condition of the weather, and everything like that should be the driver's concern. And if that driver is a poor driver, then okay, let's have all these gizmos to do it. But the thing I really liked about the Renault was there was one button you pressed twice to switch most of that stuff off.
Yeah, excellent. Well, that's a good thing. I see you nodding, Kyle, as well. I mean, you'd be presumably quite a young driver by world standards. I don't know how old do you have to be to drive in the. I know you have to be 21 to drink. How old do you have to be to drive in the UK, in the US?
It's 16.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Quite early, you get your full license.
Oh, right. And have you been driving since that age?
I have, yes.
So what do you make of these new electric and self-driving cars coming into this in your generation? What do you make of Colin's comments there?
Well, I just agree with Colin on the technology side. I haven't gotten the chance to drive a lot of electric cars, but I do think it makes sense to have an option to switch between, fully electric, maybe semi and non not using the features. So I think for example, a Tesla is basically ran off of the iPad in the middle, and you can watch Netflix while you're driving, which it might make sense for if you have kids in the back seat, but as the driver, that's unnecessary. And I agree with Colin saying that as the driver, you should be listening to the car. That's probably a good driver, and we might have not so good drivers if we're completely reliant on the technology.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Isn't that refreshing? Because we imagine, that young people born into the age of self-driving cars are just going to adopt that. It's lovely to hear. I mean, presumably you've driven a few proper old cars in your time in the US and felt what it's like to drive a real car, and maybe that's where your sentiment is coming from.
Oh, I've even driven big semi trucks, and
Oh, fantastic! Okay, who doesn't like a big semi?
but I do see now, you know, a lot of cars that have the rear view reverse cameras, and new drivers will only use the rear view camera and not simply learn how to reverse or park on their own, and that's an important skill.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But one which we fear might go completely. It's possible, isn't it? And because I think human nature will determine that people will default to convenience and ease and lose those skills. Very, very interesting. Thank you, Kyle, for that. We've got one more clip to play in the last few minutes. But the real bombshell, as you'll find out if you watch Kyle's amazing video tonight, premiering on the channel at 6 o'clock, is that Colin is. This was a moment. It wasn't the road to Damascus. It was the road to Fortaleza. I think what you said. It was biblical though. It's like, would you like this car? Yes, I want one. And it's like you would be happy to go from petrol to electric because of this car of the year 25, the Renault 5, the new Renault 5.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's a bombshell moment. I never imagined I thought I'd hear you saying that.
Well, there's two reasons. One is that I over the years, I've just hated petrol stations. Like, I've ruined good pairs of shoes that in the older days when they wouldn't switch off quickly enough. But even today, every time I go, I have to go to a particular petrol site to get my special Shell V Racing petrol. So I go to the same petrol site every time to fill up with my car. And I haven't been there once without there being a big pool of either petrol or diesel on the floor that I'm trying to not get on my shoes to take in the car.
You're not going to have that anymore, are you?
That annoys me.
Yeah.
Well, not with electric, no. And the other thing is, it's like having a petrol station at home because you just plug it in at home.
Yep.
You can charge your car at cheap rates during the night. You could even sell it back to the electricity company during the day if you're not going to use the car.
Yeah.
So you make a profit that way. So, you know,
you've been
there
converted.
Are lots of benefits.
Yeah.
No, I haven't been converted. No, it would suit my lifestyle to just have that because I don't like going to petrol stations.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And I don't like waiting in this particular petrol station while they serve one coffee to somebody, and I'm trying to give them €70 for a tank full of petrol, and I'm waiting there while they say, "Oh, well, I'll have one of those as well, and I love that," and then you're waiting there to give them €70 because somebody wanted to give them 180 for a coffee and a.
All right. He's going into rant mode. There wasn't a rant mode on the car, was there? But that was a little bit of a petrol station rant there, I think. So thankfully, that's all we've got time for. Apart from to play another segment from the video. But go on, Colin. You may have some closing comments.
I was just going to go back to the parking thing. Even that Renault 5 could park itself either straight in or in on itself. It can do it itself. So that. I know some people have difficulty parking, so that is a fantastic feature. But a feature in a car of, that sort of price range is amazing.
Yes, yeah. Well, I reversed parallel parked into a tiny little spot in Caldas de Rainha when I saw it. You know that moment where you're driving along, you're looking for a parking space, and you're thinking, that's a bit tight. The family are in the car, your wife's next to you, and you go for it. And I went straight in, and I was thinking, she thinks I'm awesome. You're not going to get that with a self-parking car, are you?
Well, the car will get the awesome, won't it?
Exactly. I mean, my kids looking at me dewy-eyed, thinking he's a hero. My wife, wanting to make love to me on the spot. It was just great. Those moments are going to be gone. So enjoy them while we still have them, and you can still park your own car. Kyle, get in touch with Kyle, everybody, if you want to enjoy and employ him with his incredible skills. It was quite disconcerting, was it not, Colin, when we had Kyle in the back of the car with the mask on? It looked like we were off to a really weird party at times, didn't it? While we were driving around the Foz Lagoon there, and we had a young man in the back with a mask.
It looked like we kidnapped him.
Yeah, it did a bit. So fortunately, we weren't stopped or didn't come across any police checks there. Kyle, thank you so much. The premiere is tonight. It's a fabulous video you've made, and we really look forward to working with you again. And come on the Good Morning Portugal show, because you've got an amazing backstory, and you coming to Portugal is a fascinating story in its own right. And you've got a dog who has been very quiet this morning as well, who we might meet on another occasion.
Yes, he's still sleeping, but thank you so much for having me. I hope to be back here again soon, and hopefully we can do a lot more videos on these cool cars that Colin gets to.
Absolutely, be a delight to do that with you. Bob took a trip in the MX-5. I think you had a part to play in that, Colin, didn't you? With some kind words about the MX-5. Yeah. Almost ran it empty 2 times. I was having so much fun driving. I wasn't watching the gas gauge. The Renault would probably tell me it would definitely tell you. And just finally from Bob, what is the range of this vehicle? I think we mentioned this in the last clip, but what's the range, Colin?
Well, there are 2 versions. The smaller one is a 40 kilowatt, and that does 300 kilometers. And the one we were testing was a 52 kilowatt, and that does 400 kilometers.
Not bad, hey?
One thing I should mention is the premiere that's coming at 6 p.m. tonight. What a coup that is for us, because Carl and I went on yesterday to look at who had already done videos on this Renault 5, and there were people like Richard Hammond from Top Gear, the electric car people who have got millions of followers have only just done it 2 weeks ago. So it's quite a coup for us to be able to do the car of the year in such company.
Yeah. So thanks again, Kyle. You've done a fantastic job. Please maybe put your notifier button on for the premiere at 6 this evening. Nice big round of applause for you. Great to see you, Colin. Great to see all the Gumpers. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow for the last live streaming day.
That was 3 years ago.
No, I think it's a lovely car.
Right.
Really, it's nice to drive.
And
you know,
for our Gumpers, for the Good Morning Portugal community, what would you say from that point of view? Somebody moving to Portugal. The thing about a lot of our American friends moving to Portugal, they won't be familiar with this Renault 5, will they? And the history of it.
5 hours,
nothing.
You know, people think, a car that only does 400 kilometers on a battery charge, it's too small for them, but it isn't.
Yes, and we know in Portugal, if anyone's worried, the electric charging network is very, very good.
It is.
And you showed us you were showing me the cable for converting it to domestic as well. So you're not going to be running out of battery, are you? With this?
No. Yeah.
Have you enjoyed driving this fabulous vehicle?
What a fabulous day we've had in that Renault 5, and here we are again, back on the bench, looking at this wonderful sea.
Yeah, it's a great car. Yeah. As you say, a great day. We didn't quite make it to Paris, but what a pleasure. The Renault 5. I was delighted as a young boy racer with my Renault 5 in orange, and it's been amazing. Never in my wildest dreams then would I have thought I'd be sat with you on a bench looking out of the Atlantic with Car of the Year 2025, the new Renault 5 behind us there. Amazing. Have you got